episode 94.
94 of the BSG Podcast, making our way up to 100. Tonight, we've got a lot of guests on the show. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we got me, Mitchell, and Zach hanging out. And tonight's episode is always brought to you by friends over at Moon Golf. Go check out Moon Golf in Auburn or down in Florida, Melbourne. Is it Vero Beach? Is that the other place? Vero Beach. Go check them out. They got locations everywhere. Mitchell could probably talk more about Moon Golf than I could because he's in there every day.
I've heard he's an honorary employee at this point.
She did tell us that.
We all are.
I was going to say we can go back there and get snacks if we want to, back in the snack room. So go check out Moon Golf and everything they do. Anyways, tonight we have a couple of Bay Point guys coming on. If you followed us for a while, then last year, Zach and I journeyed down to Panama City and took on Jay Hendley Golf in a match, and the results were not in our favor, but that's okay. We're getting revenge this weekend.
Yes, sir.
So we got Jay on here, and we got Ryan, who has the ESPN show. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also a part of Bay Point. Before going any further, Jay's going to start us off with a song and a guitar real quick to get us going into tonight's episode.
I'm impressed you guys got him to do that.
No, we're trying to get him to. Come on, Jay.
Man, I can't. I'll think about it. I don't know what y'all want to hear.
I was watching back last year's episode when we played, and I cannot forget when we played. Was it a short par 4 or par 3? And Jay hit the tree, Casey, right beside the cart path, and then come right back to us.
Yep. And then me and you made a mess of that one hole out there. It was like a disaster. But so before we talk about this weekend, before we talk about this weekend, we'll just jump into but I guess we want to talk a little bit about Bay Point for a minute. So if you're not familiar, Bay Point is a course down in Panama City. Extremely nice course. Jay are you the teaching pro, Jay? Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. Teaching pro at Bay Point. Yep.
Jay's teaching pro. And Ryan, you're like the GM, right?
Yeah, I've been the general manager on and off there since December of 2015. Moved from, like we talked about the other day, I was in the North Augusta, South Carolina area for 8 years. Lived in Aiken for a little bit, lived in North Augusta for a little bit, but been down here in the Florida Panhandle for almost 9 years.
So you've been
Aiken.
I was about to say, he commented on the clip about Aiken.
Mm-hmm.
Aiken's got some good golf. I used to work at Mount Vintage Plantation, which is up there off of in North Augusta. But yeah, played Aiken Golf Club many a time. One of my favorites in that area, that's for sure.
And then Jay you were at Noonan, correct? Country Club?
Yeah, I was at Noonan Country Club. I was over at Cannon Gate for a minute. Sea Island, University of Georgia Golf Course.
You're at Sea Island?
Yeah, that was back in 99, 2004.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
We have a buddy that he's now on the crew there that helps take care of the course, but he sent a screenshot the other day of right before Pebble, Russell Henley sent him a text and said, "Hey Brent, the greens are running great. Thanks for getting them like this so I can prep for Pebble." So it's pretty cool for Russell to be sending a message like that. So yeah, we're trying to go out the green.
All those UGA kids go to play golf all summer long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we recently had a UGA golfer on the pod recently, and so that's probably the only time we'll have a Georgia person on here. We don't deal too much with Georgia guys.
Well, hey Ryan, they're playing against me and Micheal Shears this weekend, Saturday afternoon. So that's another Georgia guy.
Whew. And you beat them by yourself last time?
Well, listen, Ryan.
Course knowledge
Gotcha.
changed it, but we know it now.
Listen.
Well, I know Jay's game, and I also know Michael's game, and you're pretty much going up against a tour pro, and then what could have been a tour pro.
Is Michael on that level?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
See, Jay, you didn't tell me that when we set this match.
He sandbagged the heck out of you guys, is what he did.
Well, we're getting an advantage. So us three are scrambling, them two are scrambling, but we're playing the forward tees, right, Jay? We get to go all the way up, and y'all gonna stay back.
Right.
Yeah. I may even find.
Are you guys playing the ones, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get
that'll actually be interesting because I would say though some of the holes from the 4Ts can be more difficult. Oh. So I would almost, if I was you guys, for driving greens and stuff, play from the 3Ts. But that's just my opinion. on what would give you guys more of an advantage. Just
Well,
because I'd
We
love
can
to see
bring
you
you
guys
as a
beat Jay
caddy,
and Mike.
Ryan. We'll
yeah,
just let
Ryan, you could
ride
just
with
come
us.
hang with
Yeah,
us
there you
and
go.
give us course knowledge.
There you go. I would love to play in the match, and hopefully someday I'll get back out on the golf course sometime soon.
So, with us playing after the women's tournament this weekend, are there going to be some 1Ts that have been pushed back a little further for Jay and them? Or are they going to be kind of where they usually are?
They'll probably be where they usually are. If I remember the course setup correctly, they use a couple of the ones for the ladies, but they played about 67, 68. So not a whole lot of 1T boxes used, but sometimes they'll use it on like 13 and a couple other ones.
Yeah,
So
we're
about
going
130, just ride around, push them back a little bit
a little
more.
bit, push them 1Ts back a little bit more. That's
Hey,
what
I
I'm
can
doing.
make some calls before y'all play. We can just have everything 2 steps off the back box.
That's what
That's
we
what we
need. We
need.
need to put Jay and Michael in positions they've never been in.
There you go.
I don't remember what hole. It was like 15 or 16 Jay beat us on. So we didn't even get to. We played 17, 18, but it wasn't competitively.
Yeah.
So we're
It'll
trying
be
to.
a fun match. I'm looking forward to it.
We're trying to get
I
some
don't think
revenge
it'll
out
make
there.
it to 15 this time.
Mitch,
Definitely.
you confident for us, Mitch?
I'm confident.
Mitch has brand new everything in the bag ready to use.
There you go.
Perfect.
So let's talk a minute about y'all's the radio show. Talk about it for a minute, just let everybody know, because if the people listening to us love golf, then they'll love listening to y'all stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Had the opportunity. We have the it's called the Inside Drive. It's on ESPN Northwest Florida here in the Panhandle region, and a couple different frequencies, and covers a pretty big area. But we're on from 11 to 1 Central Time, Monday through Friday. And like what I like to tell everybody, we're 75% entertainment, 25% sports talk. So we have segments that we call the Afternoon Delight Debrief, where we're talking about Florida man stories and random crazy stuff. And we have a good opportunity to interview a lot of really cool guests as well. It's obviously heavy in golf, but we cover every sport as well. But I've had a lot of opportunities to talk to some pretty cool people. So it's a lot of fun. And then sometimes Jay plays the guitar on the air, and then all the ladies are lining up at the studio door throwing bras all over the place. But, it's just all part of what we do.
How'd you get into that, the ESPN and all that?
Well, at the golf club, there's another show in the morning that's been going for a while, the Coach James Hale show, and we used to advertise on that show for the golf course, and I would go on every once in a while on Fridays, tried as much as I could live. I'd fill in for him a couple times. Long story short, the studio got moved closer to Bay Point, had the opportunity to start my own show. It's just right around the corner, so it doesn't really take me away from work too much. And Jay was willing to come on and do it with me. And David Hayes, our guy behind the glass, hosts the afternoon show. And it's just a good time, and we have a blast every day. And like I said, if we just make somebody smile and enjoy their day a little bit more, that's what it's all about for us.
Love it.
I'm hoping we get some of that guitar action.
We may not leave until we see the man play. We may come hang out in the restaurant part of the golf course, and just because there's a guitar in that corner over there. I remember it last time we were there.
There was. That's so random. How that I don't know why there was a guitar there. Maybe.
Oh, does it not stay there?
No.
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 I thought that was kind of your little thing, signature move you do, and nobody. You just surprise
He just
guests with
stages
the
his guitar. Oh, some lady walks in. He says, "Oh, there's a guitar there in the corner.
Guitar over there.
Might as well play it."
Right. Exactly. Oh my goodness.
But we're excited to come down. The course is just beautiful. I mean, I've been to Panama City several times and didn't know about the course until last year when we came down. So y'all do an incredible job out there. Last time we were there, Jay, they were doing a lot of work on that one side. Are they still working on that? They're moving a lot of dirt.
Yeah, and Ryan, I don't know if you want to speak to it or not. It's basically a banquet hall.
Yeah, our owner was taking a space and building a big, basically events building. But it's also going to feature 2 golf simulators, which is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if Jay's ever told you, we work with an organization called the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance. And Jay works very intensively with them. But it started almost going on 2 years ago. A local gentleman, James Tipton, he's partially paralyzed from the waist down. He got involved with stand up and play. And he's actually was a really good golfer prior to his accident. He was in the military forever. Anyway, really long story short, he created the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance. So it's for veterans, children, Special Olympics with PTSD, disabilities, and they use golf as what he calls a modality just for therapy to get away from the crap they're dealing with in their lives. So long story short, again, we were able to work with one of the big companies here and get a grant to put in a couple golf simulators in this new building to use for the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance when it's dark or when it's raining and stuff like that. And in turn, we'll be able to use the simulators, and the money we charge will give a portion right back to the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy Alliance. So it's kind of a dual function building, and the owner's kind of putting some money in to potentially get some bigger events, some Ducks Unlimited stuff. And since we have the Bay Point Billfish Invitational again, they're going to do a big banquet in there this year. So just kind of create some event space, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool.
I feel like golf in general is a great therapy. Just, even for me, just to get out of the office, you don't worry about your bills or your to-do list or anything. It's just you and the ball, and you can relax. So I'm sure someone with more like real world problems could really enjoy it.
Well, and Jay can really speak to that because he's seen some people that have been in some pretty dark places, and they either get into the chair or just get out there and they make contact with the ball for the first time, just like when we make a great shot and it feels so great. And it really puts things into perspective how if we just enjoy the game of golf and lower our expectations and go out there and have fun, it can really be something really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys like I've seen a helicopter guy who got into a helicopter crash a couple years ago in Pensacola. He's paralyzed from the waist down, and he gets in a paramobile and he gets out and hits some golf balls, and he just starts smiling. Man, it's a really cool feeling just to see all that like firsthand. It's amazing. Seeing people who's had amputees from leg or arm and getting out and hitting golf balls, and it's pretty cool to really see it live.
Yeah, that's cool that y'all are able to do that. A lot of golf, you don't really hear too much about that at golf courses, especially around where we're at. You don't really hear much about getting to work with people like that.
Well, we have such a huge with Tyndall Air Force Base and Eglin Air Force Base and the naval support activity right down the road. We're just such a huge veterans community around here and active military. So that's just one thing that's really cool about Bay County is they support military 100% here. We're just trying to do our little part for the people that have, done so much for us so we can go out there and play golf.
Are y'all making Jay sound like a good guy?
I know. I didn't know Jay was this good of a guy.
When I seen his Georgia jacket the first time, I had such a dislike for him, and now I'm like, maybe he's not so bad.
Did you know that Jay grew up as an Auburn fan?
Jay, what happened?
I did, man. I did. My whole family went to Auburn, and then I transitioned to Georgia probably 2006. So I've been a Georgia fan for about close to 20 years. Yeah.
Oh,
so when you switched. 3 years later, Auburn wins it all.
Yep. Right. And then he suffers for another 12, 13 years or so, and then things get better.
And y'all finally bite somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't bark at kids, do you?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
He wouldn't be allowed to work at Bay Point if that was the case.
Bay Point, y'all are semi-private, right? Or y'all completely?
Yeah, we have a small membership, but given the market that we're in, the majority of our play is from tourism and vacationers.
How do y'all? We kind of asked Jay about this last year a little bit, but how do y'all balance being such a touristy location and then the members having to deal with tourists just coming on their course? And because most people come out there and I don't care about the golf course, I'm just gonna play golf on vacation, and then you got members.
And it's definitely a tricky balance. I mean, the membership's been around for a long time. It's not very big, and to be perfectly candid, we don't really. If somebody wants to join, awesome. We have an initiation fee. We're just a golf club with a restaurant. We don't have pool, tennis, or any of that kind of stuff. But members get priority with tee times. But the good thing about our membership is they also understand that without that public play and that tourism-driven golf, we probably don't have a golf course. Mm-hmm. So and the majority of them look at it as it's almost a necessary evil, for lack of a better term. Those people paying those high dollar greens fees, especially in our 10 weeks of summer, that's, what keeps us going and keeps us to be able to keep the golf course in good shape without having to, because with only a small membership, you can only charge so much, and it's just a nice little extra. So we try to walk that balance pretty good. And the members are pretty understanding.
I think the tee time preference would be huge in the summer because we played in Panama City in the summer. And if you're not playing at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:30, it's awful. And you don't even want to be out there.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
That alone is worth it.
We run 6 a.m. tee times in those peak summer months just because we have a little bit more daylight, but just to get people out. Because like you said, nobody's knocking down the door at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in July.
Hey, Friday, when we come down Friday, that evening, if we're wanting to eat somewhere that's not just a fancy tourist place, where should we eat at Friday night?
Oh, man.
He was grilling.
Yeah.
Grilling at Jay's house?
And Sailor.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Where are y'all staying?
Where are we staying at?
It's like the Executive Inn. It's somewhere in Panama City. I think it's like 10 minutes from the course, maybe. Okay,
gotcha. I think probably just across the other side of the bridge. I mean, I don't know where y'all have eaten before, but there's so many good local places that have kind of become, I wouldn't say become, but Dat Cajun place has got to be on your list.
Yeah.
Christo's has to be on your list. Patches is another great spot. They're all pretty close to the golf course there as well, but there's just a ton of like the off the beaten path ones. Like Christo's is in a gas station. Paul's a member at the golf club, but it's some of the best food you'll find in Panama City Beach, but definitely a local spot. But yeah, Dat Cajun place, Christo's, Patches, Jay, I'm sure you could name a few more too. If you like, American, Mexican, Diego's is a great one. They make some great food. So there's a ton of Mexican.
We got a big match the next day.
Seafood. Good seafood.
Ryan, have you tried the Cuban at the Marathon gas station on Thomas?
Oh no, I haven't. But in some of the my wife was. It's so funny you say that. She was just talking to somebody about that the other day, and like how the Facebook has like the moms groups and stuff like that. Some mom tried to say something negative about that Cuban sandwich at the gas station, and she got raked across the coals because they were like, "Don't mess with that." Yeah, that Cuban, the Reuben, they have some of the best sandwiches in the whole area.
Seriously, man, the Marathon on Thomas Drive asked for a Cuban sandwich. It is like I had it the other day. It was fantastic.
I feel like
and you got to know what you're doing. It's a little bit like Seinfeld and the Soup Nazi. Like you need to know what you're talking about. You can't just go in there and lollygag around. They need you Cuban. They'll got you, and they're good to go.
I feel like they're setting us up for like a stomach hurt.
Because we'll have time for
No, this is the real deal. This is the real deal.
What's the coffee place, Zach?
Yeah, coffee place. Any good
local coffee shops?
There's not a ton. In Panama City, there's some good ones. There's the Pour. That's a good one. You've got Amavita, but there's just really not a ton of like coffee places here because it's not your typical like metro city area. Mm-hmm. You got the chain ones, of course, but there's not a ton of actual. Maybe there's an opportunity there that we're missing out on.
Here we go.
We're excited about it. We're ready to come
open
down.
Up and then free coffee for free Tetons.
There you go.
Mitchell hasn't got to see Jay's famous ball flight that starts about 5 inches off the ground and slowly rises up. Coolest ball flight I've ever seen anybody play, and Jay just plays it so smooth.
It's those Hendley hands.
Yeah. No, it is not supposed to look like that. That is way too much spin on the ball. Way too much spin.
That's a good thing. I love the way the thing it's just a riser. Every shot's just a riser. I love it. So, hey, we'll talk golf for a minute if that's cool with y'all before. We haven't got a chance to talk yet as a group about the news that broke this week with Tiger heading down to the Bahamas, playing golf with the Piffs, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, I guess how you say his name. But I guess the only thing that come from this is, and we have everybody's opinion on it, does that pretty much mean that if Tiger's down there meeting, it's a done deal? It's happening. They're merging together.
Who wants to go first? I'll take it because I talk about this on the radio all the time because I am not a I like to walk both sides of it when we're talking about this whole subject between the PIF and the PGA Tour. And I think, in my opinion now, I think the PGA Tour thinks that they can survive with just that investment from the Strategic Sports Group because it is such a large investment. So I think that they're going to see how this year goes. Their ratings are obviously declining. Even with Sawgrass's good ratings this past Sunday, it was still trending down. So I don't know what that means. It could just be some smoke and mirrors by the policy board trying to show, hey, we're meeting with them. We're still continuing the conversations. I think nothing happens this year because I think the Jordan Spieth and those guys, they've been vocal saying that Strategic Sports Group can sustain them and they don't need that PIF investment, where Rory has said they need it, and he thinks that's the future of golf. This was a funny just conspiracy theory that I believe it was David from our radio show said the only reason Tiger was down there is he's trying to get Sunday Red to be the official clothing line of the Live Tour. But I can't say that was my idea. That was David's.
He may be working that out.
Maybe onto something on that.
Yeah, after watching, I don't know if y'all watched season 1 and 2 of Full Swing, but after seeing kind of Rory's involvement and how he really feels, because that's the side of Rory we didn't see previously.
Yeah.
You kind of wonder, like, he's kind of like, well, forget Jay Monahan. But then you got reports coming out now where he's saying, well, I may go to Live. So I don't know. I think if you got people like Rory, they're like, if it happens and he goes, it's just all either going to fall apart or they got to come together.
Well, let's think back to that one point where they're letting all the Live golfers come in for the majors, which is the biggest thing then of why everybody wanted to stay, because everybody wanted to stay and be able to play in their majors. And now Live can come in and play whatever they want to play. And so I'd go off for $300 million and still be able to come play the 4 majors every year.
Yeah, and the Masters is tricky when it comes to Live players being able to play, because your only way really to get in the Masters still is being in the top 50 in the world golf rankings. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you have all these exemptions and all that stuff. But yeah, the Masters coming out and saying last year, yeah, Live golfers can play if you qualify. Well, guess what? Yeah. Live golfers don't get ranking points, so good luck. But I think, it might have been earlier this week, Jay, when you weren't there, but we were talking about it. That's a way to get everybody to come together, get the 4 governing bodies of the majors that have nothing to do with the PGA Tour or the Live Tour, and have them all come together and provide a solution how any golfer, regardless, can play in those events. And then I think you might have some steps going in the right direction of how to, because the fans just want the best players in the best tournaments competing against each other. Yeah, I think we're just getting tired of the money grabs, the bull crap with the PGA Tour, and a lot of these guys nobody knows. And it's just, golf is in such a crazy place right now, and somebody's got to do something to move it in the right direction.
So well, what do you think do you think it would make sense for them if they did something like that? Take Live, you would take like the maybe top 1 to 2 teams and invite them to like Augusta or something like that. Would that be something you would think about, or would it just be more of like, hey, here's who we're going to invite this year?
Well, I would say make a qualifying path for Live golfers, whether it's 1, 2, a half a dozen, whatever it may be. Make some of their events have a way to get into the majors. That would obviously require those majors to kind of bite their tongues a little bit and just keep the PGA Tour out of it, because I think that could be a realistic path to get some of those guys in. But does that solve your Live PGA Tour dilemma? Or does it just divide them more? Because now you got to pass. Now Rory jumped ship. Some other guys jumped ship. And I don't know. It's such a weird place that we're in golf right now. And I think Jay Monahan has to go for there to be some kind of solution down the road. Because let's be honest, and if I'm talking too much, just tell me to stop.
No, you're good.
The PGA Tour is compared to NFL, NBA, ice hockey, all these other major sports, Major League Baseball, that they're making the game faster, more exciting, more scoring, more fan engagement. The PGA Tour has not done that. They've stuck to their guns with what they've done for however long it's been. Whether you like the Live Tour or not and you think it's cool, it's a little gimmicky, but they're doing stuff to make it engaging. Mm-hmm. Betting is huge nowadays. Why are we not having live betting popping up on the screens with the PGA Tour? You're missing out this opportunity to tap into the younger guard of golf fans. I mean, yes, you're going to have the old guys that will never, ever watch anything besides the PGA Tour. But they're not going to be here for that much longer. As morbid as that sounds, that's the truth. And you've got to start engaging these new audiences of golf fans. And you've got to make it interactive. You got to make it fast-paced. And you got to make it fun. And Jay Monahan's not the guy to do that.
I saw someone compare the PGA to the NFL, and Live is the XFL. They're willing to try anything and everything to get that engagement, but it's not enough at the end of the day. Everybody still wants the tour, but they want little bits from the XFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you didn't have the PIF backing the Live Tour, it would already be gone. And what you said before with the full swing stuff, it seemed very apparent that none of the guys really thought Live was going to survive. They thought it was going to be a flash in the pan. These guys got their money. The tour is going to end. They're going to be begging to come back to the PGA Tour. And that hasn't happened. And then you got a guy like John Rahm, the defending Masters champion, makes the move over there. And that kind of sent shockwaves. And you thought, okay, well, maybe now because he went, they'll try to figure out something. But if that strategic sports group didn't come in, I think we're in a different scenario. But what do you guys think?
Well, and that's like this past. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to say, I'm just not about the team golf thing. And when I think of team golf, I think of four-man scrambles. I think of, maybe starting up a middle school girls golf league where, you team people up. And it just, to me, I just don't like the team aspect of golf. It's supposed to be played individually. And I think they need to get away from that. Now, I'm all about more golf. I love more golf. If they can somehow, we've got all these, Central Standard Time. We got all these standard times across the world, and Liv is going to Hong Kong. They're going all over the world. Why can't we come together and give us maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of Liv golf Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4, and let us maybe see the PGA Tour from 4 to 6, like we typically do every Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm all about more golf. But there's not, they can maneuver all of this to where the Live can have some prime time, and all that stuff. That's just my opinion.
They could, but they're not going to, because then they'd be basically doing a whole 180 like Monahan did.
Yeah.
And the whole team thing is weird to me, how you have the individual winners celebrating, and then over here you have another celebration of, well, our team won, so we're going to celebrate too, which is just wild to me.
It is wild.
But it definitely brings in some people to get some money that never would have had a chance to get some money. Yes. That's for sure.
All those bottles of Ferrari champagne they're popping every week, I know those got to cost a lot of money. They're all just spraying them.
Absolutely.
But even this past week with the players being such a viewed tournament, an exciting tournament, so a lot of people viewed in, it still had the whole underlying issue of everybody saying, well, it's not all the best players in the world here competing for it. So as exciting as it was, it still wasn't where it could have been because we're missing out on all that. So they're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, there's a fracture in the game that needs to be repaired, and somebody needs to figure it out.
Yeah.
Agreed. And we've been talking.
I do think Live beats the PGA as far as coverage for shots. Like if you ever switched over to YouTube, it's shot, talking, shot. And like on the PGA, you got, well, where are the shots at? It's like you got a couple, they'll follow the main group, but unless someone's like trying to chase them down, you're not going to see them on Sunday. And their app is horrible. I think the Masters app, everybody re-downloads every year, is the best app in golf.
Peak,
the PGA just refuses to invest money in it for some reason.
Well, and the Masters does such a good job because they have such a backup of volunteers willing to get out there and track everybody's shot. And that's just the fact that you can literally go back and watch any person's golf shot from any hole from that entire tournament is just incredible.
Yeah. And the whole Live thing, there's some people I think about that went to Live, I think killed their career. You think Matthew Wolff, like he was big time on PGA. Everybody was so impressed with his swing and all this stuff. He goes to Live, and now nobody here talks about him anymore. Same with Bubba Watson, was PGA, incredible, 2-time Masters champ. He goes to Live, nobody's talking about Bubba anymore. So I think it's just one of those things.
Special guest.
Hey, there's little Noah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So, he carried him for 9 months, and he finally got him out. So we're proud of you, Mitch.
Hey, you did good.
Like he's still in there, but he's not.
2024, whatever you guys want to do is good.
Yeah, you never know in 2024. Well, we talk about Noah.
In the background.
We talk about Noah the baby. We still say they, them, because Noah hasn't decided yet what he's going to be. So we're just letting him wait and do all that.
Gotcha. There you go.
But anyways, so the PGA and Live and all that. What I was going to say was we have been recently having a lot of deep, like college golfers on from Florida and Louisville and Alabama, and we're asking them, like, are you hoping by the time you graduate that this is figured out, so it's an easier decision for you? And majority of them are saying they don't really care if it is. They're going to do what's best for them business wise. So live or PGA, which is shocking because if I was a sophomore in college and that's my goal to be a professional golfer, I would kind of be hoping, I hope it's figured out. So there's one path and I'm not having to make this tough decision. But they're all saying it don't matter. I'm going to go with what's best for me.
Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about this before on the show that, you've got some guys coming right out of college, and I forget that one guy's name. He went right from college to the Live Tour because he's guaranteed that whatever. I mean, even if it's a $30 million signing bonus, which is low for Live standards, you may never even come close to earning that in your professional career. So as someone coming out of college, you may not have the aspirations to win all these majors and all that stuff. But the reality of the game is there's very few people that really do. So as a business decision, to make that decision to set yourself up successfully of what you've earned by playing golf through college, I totally can understand that decision. And I think that most of us, and we've talked about it before, that if you offered this massive bag of cash or staying on this other one, I think the majority of us would probably take the cash.
Yeah. Be.Still Golf is ready to make a business decision.
Zach said it's a business decision. But you got to think about those guys coming out of college. You're 22 years old and you have the option to make $30 million at 22. Yeah, I'm going to go do that at 22 years old. I'm not really thinking legacy and what's right and wrong, or if that's even involved. I'm thinking $30 million guaranteed dollars. I'll see you later.
Yeah, and you haven't had to prove anything. You haven't had to go try to even just make the Corn Ferry and then qualify in the top 30 and then make it to the PGA Tour, then get your tour card. And now the course is so convoluted. Am I in the signature events? Am I not in the signature events? But what do I have to do to make money? And then these guys over there, I never would have thought we would have been in this position in golf. That's for sure.
I would say, like, in the last year, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, but like the Jake Knapps of the world are kind of starting to be seen. And like, who knew who Jake Knapp was a couple of weeks ago? I think earlier we talked about this Neesmith kid, right? Did we talk about him today, Ryan?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show, Matt. Well, because he's from North Augusta, and he's been on the PGA Tour for a little while. He's had some success, but I just knew his name because he was in our backyard for a while, and I knew him growing up as a junior.
But that's just something you're starting to see now, like these journeymen who've been on the tour that you haven't seen in quite some time, and they're all of a sudden like starting to win these golf tournaments, and they're coming out of the blue. I don't know if that has anything to do with Liv. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I'm waiting to see Jay Hendley make that turn. We're ready.
Senior tour. We're getting close. We're getting close.
I mean, that's a lot of people could argue that, like with the whole Nick Dunlap thing, saying, well, the field wasn't what it could have been. So, of course, he had a better opportunity to win it. And that's another thing. If he didn't win that PGA Tour event, like you win it, then you're like, okay, I'm going PGA Tour because now I'm on PGA Tour easily. But if he doesn't win that, he may be heading to Live too as well to get that money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another point to that, Jay, when you're talking about some of these people we haven't heard from before, is because now you have these, or I think they're called signature events now. They've added more signature events. So your top fields on the PGA Tour are sticking to those events. So you're seeing an opportunity for more guys getting in these fields, not just because of the Live Tour, but because of how the PGA Tour has restructured their schedule, which could be beneficial for some of these guys for sure.
Yeah. And personally, I'm not the biggest, I've said it on here several times, the biggest Rory fan in the world. And so when he was so adamant about these signature events, and then here recently you see him not playing in a handful of these signature events. And I'm thinking, Rory, you're the one that was pushing for these. You were meeting saying these are so important, and you're not even playing in them. So what's the point of having these? The whole purpose was that the top however many players, best players, are supposed to be in these events to draw attention, make it exciting. And then you got Rory, the biggest name in golf, skipping out on some of these events.
Yeah. So that, like you said, on the full swing up at the second season, you could really see the toll of him being the face of the PGA Tour versus Live, just how it impacted him from a physical and emotional standpoint. And he just got to the point where he's like, you know what? F it. I don't care what we do here anymore. And that's why he's not on the policy board anymore.
It don't help that you have such a good week like this last week with the players, and then it's followed up by the Valspar. Like nobody cares about the Valspar.
Yeah. You're naturally going to have these huge letdowns, and really no one's going to care until the Masters. And I know the Houston Open's always the week before, but I know. I mean, it's the majors or nothing really at this point. It seems like when it's in regards to the PGA Tour.
And even from our world of, making content and stuff, you've got Bryson, who's like putting in a lot of work on his YouTube channel. Like he's getting into that world as well as professional, and he's bringing other YouTubers with him. You don't see any PGA Tour golfers like, hey, let me make a YouTube channel. Let me make content. Let me invite YouTubers to come be a part. So Liv's kind of winning in that aspect, just as Bryson's, hey, let me show y'all inside rope of what it's like over here. Here's my life. Come golf with me. It's cool to see.
Well, and that's the world we live in now. That's what gets back to the point we were talking about a few minutes ago, is like create engaging content, create these relationships with these players. And that way you go and watch where they're actually playing golf. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff is what people love. It's what they crave. And, they're giving them the opportunity to do that, where I don't have any factual information to back this up, but I feel like the PGA Tour dictates what their members can and cannot do when it comes to that stuff.
And if you polled 10 people around our age of, are you watching a PGA Tour event or YouTube golf? 7 out of 10 are going to say, I'm watching YouTube golf instead of a PGA Tour event. Like, that's just the world we're in right now. It's more entertaining for me to watch these YouTube videos and these people golf than it is for me to watch a golf tournament on Thursday to Sunday. So I think if PGA Tour wants to get more, like, make a difference, they need to somehow get in that world, or get some of their guys to get in that world.
They need
to call us. We'll
leaders. You guys can be it.
Business decision,
consulting.
Jay.
How to get more engagement on the PGA Tour. Fire Jay Money. First one.
That's it. Which, real quick, we always do make our picks for the week. So y'all are more than welcome to make picks for this week. We're going to run through them real quick, and then I've got just a couple more questions at the end. But we are going to the Valspar this week. We just followed up with the players. I had picked Wyndham Clark to win it. Brady picked Scotty, I think.
No, I picked Scotty.
You picked Scotty. That's what it was. Brady picked
Bold pick.
Yeah. Who did you pick, Mitch? Got cut?
You don't want to talk about it.
We're not going to go over that.
Okay. So anyways, but this week, which, by the way, that was a wild ending to the tournament with Wyndham, that putt on 18, just crazy. I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and I took this big breath and gasped. She's like, what are you freaking out about? And I was like, did you just miss that? Like, what just happened? And so, fun tournament. But this week, the Valspar. Last year, Taylor Moore was the winner at 10 under, so not a very high-scoring tournament, a little difficult. And here's our picks for this week. I'll go ahead. I'm going Jordan Spieth this week. He was tied for third last year. I'm running with Spieth. Who you got, Zach?
I changed mine. I'm going with Xander.
Oh, Xander's
been hot. He's
odds-on favorite.
He's going to show out this week.
Zach's a big Vegas odds favorite guy.
Hey, there's a reason why they're the favorite.
Yeah.
Golf's tough, though.
Mitchell's got on here, Sam Burns is his pick for the week.
That's who I'd pick.
You pick Sam?
Burns, he's got a great track record there at the Valspar, and he's playing some good golf, and he does well on comparable course comps, because that's just a difficult, tight golf course, and he's really good. I think what Keith said was from the 175 to 200-yard range is where the majority of these guys are hitting their shots in, and he's one of the better on tour in that range. And that's all from Keith Fleming that we had on the show today. So credit goes to him.
I took all that into account when I did that pick, too, just so y'all know.
He's so crazy. I mean, Sam Burns is a two-time winner here, 2021 and 2022. Just got beat out by Taylor Moore last year. And then right before that, 2 years in a row, was Paul Casey, who is now a live guy. So we ain't got to worry about Paul Casey anymore. So good pick, Mitch. Maybe it'll get you some points back in our pick'ems, since you got the 10-point with the cut. So you'd go Sam Burns, Ryan? That's who you'd go with?
Yeah, if I had to pick one, that's who I'd choose for this week coming up.
Do you have a pick, Jay?
All right. Let's see. I'll throw in. I took some notes from Keith today, Ryan.
Oh,
did you?
Yeah.
Good job.
So Keith said that the rough at Innsbruck's going to be 4 inches this week.
Oh,
narrow.
They brought it in a little bit as well around the greens.
Yep. So we're talking narrow fairways, dog legs left and right. I'm going to go with high ball hitting Tony Finau.
Oh, wow.
I like it. It's about time for him to get a win.
I think so. Yeah.
He's got the most family-friendly TikTok channel.
Yeah, I love his wife on TikTok's hilarious.
Yeah.
I would say Tony. Tony's a great pick, but Tony only stands out and shines in the tournaments where the big names aren't in the field. He can't seem to win with all the big names. So there's too many good big names in the field this week. I don't think Tony's getting it done.
Tony might be a huge fan of Liv for some of the guys jumping.
You think so? You think Tony's going?
He was rumored many a time to go over there. But I guess he just never made the move yet.
Tony,
Who knows?
If I could pick who I wanted to win the Masters, it'd be Tony. I want him to be a major champion. I think he deserves a major championship.
I just love his golf swing.
Let JT get.
I don't care nothing about JT. He's such a whiny baby. Look, first Sawgrass, I think it was Thursday, first hole, first shot of the tournament. He hits it. As soon as he hits it, he turns around at the people behind him and he's like pitching a fit already. And I'm like, this is typical JT, just fussing.
Quiet. He's at work.
He couldn't make it on Live. But I'm like, bro, it's the first shot and you're already blaming your tee shot on the guy behind you. Like, you got to get over that, JT. I still can't handle it the time where he told that guy, what did he say, Zach? He said, just shut up. Oh, enough. Where he told that guy.
Are they not going back to the waste management because there's been so many players say? What was the tournament where all?
No, they're just completely changing how the gate entry works and all that stuff, because it basically became a free for all. They weren't even scanning people's badges going in, and people were drinking at VIP things and not getting charged, and they lost control of the event.
They stopped selling alcohol because it got wild.
Yeah,
a lot of players. We talked about it that either their tournament's gonna have to change tremendously, or a lot of players are gonna be like, "I'm never going back there again," because it was just it was crazy.
Yep. And that's what happens when you have too much of a good thing in a certain direction. It's always going to teeter on that line. And this past tournament certainly was the line that it crossed. That's for sure, which is very ironic because they criticized the Live Tour for being a party tour and celebrating. And then that's what happens at the Waste Management of the Open.
That is true. And then our picks, I don't know if y'all follow the LPGA. It's the hardest thing in the world to follow. I'll tell you that.
And it's tough to bet.
We've been trying probably for the last 3 or 4 months to keep up with the LPGA and make picks, but it's so hard. One, their website is horrible. You can't find hardly anything on it. And two, all the tournaments are in the middle of the night because they're in China half the time. But this week,
is it a major coming up this week?
I don't know if this week is. It's they're in California. It's the Fur Hills. Oh, it's the Seri Pac Championship. I'm not sure if that's a major for them.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't. I do know that last year the winner was Ruoning Yin, and that's my pick for this week because I'm going with the back-to-back. Zach, he walked off. His was, I can't say half these people's names. Lynn. Mitchell went the favorite, Nelly Korda. And then Brady's got Brooke Henderson. So
hey, I'm feeling good this week. I may have 2 winners
this
weekend.
Brooke Henderson's sister, she played at Coastal Carolina, and when I was at Mount Vintage in South Carolina, we hosted that a college tournament there that Coastal played in, and Brooke was actually caddying for her sister in that tournament.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, and obviously she's gone on to be a lot better than her sister, but Rose Zhang is my pick. I'm always going to pick Rose Zhang. Why not?
I wish I wish I could swing like Nelly Korda. She has one of the smoothest swings in all of golf.
Yeah.
We've got a guy that we go to church with. He's an older gentleman, and the Epson tour always comes down to Prattville, Alabama every year to RTJ.
Yeah.
And he goes and watches, and he said that this year he wants me to come with him because he said, I want you to see how smooth all these women swing and how their swing is so effortless, but watch how they control their ball flight, how they control the shape of their ball, and how they still scored. And I was like, I need to go watch because they make it look so easy.
Yep. Their tempo is just fantastic. There's no doubt about it.
I was on the back end of the range, and we had the Yale University women's golf team practicing on the back end of the driving range. And I was going to ask them what their SAT scores were to get into Yale, but I didn't. I thought about it.
Probably a lot higher than I could ever got.
Probably higher than you can count, Casey.
You so dumb.
Fan.
You dumb. I was going to ask.
I'm a big fan of Jake Knapp's swing. I really like his swing too.
Yeah.
Oh, his is so smooth and effortless.
So smooth.
Oof.
And hits it a country mile.
I wonder if he's going to be, so that one tournament he almost, he was top. And then the players he did pretty well. Is he going to be one of them guys that just starts standing out every week or if he's just kind of like, I'm hot for a few weeks, and then Nick Dunlap wins it next week, comes in dead last.
Yeah,
that kind of vibe. But he's got such a good swing.
I think the Masters will really show us where he stands this year as a golfer, because playing in your first Masters is always you either rise to the occasion or it humbles you quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've got here coming up is in a few weeks is the men's golf SEC championship, and so we've had a Georgia golfer, Florida golfer, and an Alabama golfer on here recently. And I'm just saying, I'm going to pick the favorite. I've got Auburn winning it. The
number one team in the country.
That's what I'm trying to say. Jay, what you think about that, Jay?
Go Dogs, baby. Go Dogs. We haven't won a national championship since 2005 in golf, but it's been a while. But
that's another one of them things like the LPGA. It's hard to find it, to watch it and enjoy it, because it's hard to see where it's going at. You can watch the live scoring, but I want to watch the golf.
Yeah.
So, hey, I was going to ask this. I meant to ask this earlier, and we can kind of wrap up with this. Ryan, how did you even get into being a GM of a golf course? Like, did you go to school for golf management or something? Or
Well, I've been in the golf business my entire life, just like a lot of people. Started as a cart guy at a small private club in New Jersey and played golf growing up my entire life. And when I went to college, I was either going to play golf and get an engineering degree, and I decided to go to Coastal Carolina because I didn't want to dedicate the time and all that and not enjoy college. So I went to Coastal and I got my business degree and graduated as a PGA member when I finished up. So that's kind of, and then just had started as an assistant and kind of fell into some good scenarios and worked my way up and was managing clubs not too far after that. So I've been very blessed in my career, and Bay Point's been a fun spot of it, that's for sure.
Do y'all ever go watch?
Do you want a different pro? Would you like a more Auburn type pro, or are you okay with like a?
Are you okay? Off the record, are you okay with Jay? Do we need to work on finding y'all another pro down there?
Well, see, technically he doesn't work for me. He is a contract employee of the golf course, so he's not actually on our payroll. So I can't really fire him, so to speak. So all that the allegiances to college, no big deal for us.
So you could just tell him to quit giving lessons on your range, though.
Essentially, yeah. We could just end the privilege.
Hey, does Michael, your teammate for this weekend? He's not the guy that came up for our classic last year, is it? The tournament with you?
No.
Okay.
No. Do you talking about my teammate in the fall, like that fall classic?
Yeah. Well, the one you came up to ours at Point, your teammate.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if that was Michael.
All right. That was my buddy Cliff. He's been a regular on our radio show.
Gotcha.
But
yeah. Michael Shears is about 6'6" and hits the ball about 340 in the air. So
don't tell me that's right.
That's why he's Jay's partner.
Does he live down there with y'all, down around the course?
Been sandbagging on us.
He's from the area, right?
Well, he moved down here about a year ago. He grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. He actually played 3 years at Vanderbilt, and then transferred his senior year and played at Georgia.
What year did he graduate from Georgia? Do you know, or around what year he played there?
I mean, he was just on the roster last year, so I want to say he graduated a year and a half ago.
Oh, so he's fresh off college golf. He's a competitor.
I mean, he was playing in the national championship with Vanderbilt, less than 5 years ago.
Jay, so. I thought Jay had like a 45-year-old washed-up man as his teammate that played.
That's what I was thinking.
I was telling
You'd be better off going me and him versus y'all. That's for sure.
I was telling everybody that asked, I was like, well, it's Jay, and then he's got a buddy that played at Georgia several years ago. I didn't know the guy was just on.
No, he's like in the process of trying to make it to the Korn Ferry Tour as we speak.
That's incredible. Thanks, Jay. This is going to be great. This is going to be great content.
Man, you still got 48 hours left, 72 hours left to get prepared. So
we're coming.
Busy.
And we've got probably, what's the tips at Bay Point? 75, somewhere around there?
No. A little, just shy of 72.
Okay. Yeah. And then the 4 tees are what? Maybe like
48.
Oh, 48. So we've got a lot of yards on the
5. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what we need.
Just going to start chirping early.
Yeah.
Y'all short game's going to need to be on fire.
We were nice last time because it was the first time meeting Jay, but now we're going to be chirping hole 1 to hole 18 nonstop.
I don't know. He's tough to get in his head. I haven't figured it out yet on the radio show. Either he plays dumb or he just really is. I don't know.
Well, we're excited about. No, are you going to be at the course when we come down for Friday, Jay? Are you going to be gone, or we won't see you till Saturday?
You're right. Yeah, I'll see you guys Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if we come to the course a little early Saturday, are we able to like kind of watch the women thing going on, or is it kind of closed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The only thing is there won't be any like spectator carts or anything because they all use the carts for this tournament because we do shotguns every day. But yeah,
we can kind of just hang out around some greens and watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. We're excited. We're about to get some tomorrow. We all took off work tomorrow, so we can just rest all day before we drive down. It's not even the day of the tournament. We're just resting. We're ready.
Preparation is key.
Yeah. I didn't know that your teammate was like that. So I'm about to be outside doing speed training with some metal pipes all day tomorrow. Just swinging. Speed training.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Oh, goodness.
But no, we're excited about it. We're ready to come down to Bay Point and highlight the course. And thank y'all for letting us come do this. There's a lot of courses that are like, no, we're not going to do all that.
That's the PGA Tour in them.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
We're going to live side of Bay Point.
That's
BAYLIV.
That's it. We just want to make sure people are having fun and having a good time on the golf course. Yeah. And if that's doing this kind of stuff, that's what we're all for.
We appreciate it. And then I think we're taking Jay on again later in the year, right at Highland Park. You're going to come up and play with your buddy in that one?
Yeah.
Cliff?
Is he a
with Cliff.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
April 20th.
Now, Cliff is he's a washed up CPA, so that's fair on that one. And I mean washed up in the nicest way I can.
That's right.
Good. So yeah, that's it. Go check out, if you're ever around Panama City, if you're down there vacationing, go check out Bay Point and go listen to the radio show. We'll put all that in the description. Y'all, is it every day? Y'all are on every day?
Yep, Monday. Well, I'm on every day. Jay has to, make money for a living, so sometimes he skips out on the radio show. But yeah, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Okay. Now we are off tomorrow and Friday because we're airing NCAA March Madness coverage because it's about to get underway.
Yep.
Who do you got picked to win it all?
That's a tough one. I think Auburn has the team to potentially avenge that 2019 loss they had on that stupid foul 3-pointer. But I don't know. We've run through so many statistics, and like if you go through trends and all that stuff, it's pointing to either UConn or Houston. But there hasn't been a back-to-back champion in really long time. So I could see somebody like an Iowa State or something like that doing it. But UConn seems to be the overwhelming favorite for this particular.
If Auburn gets up there and beats UConn, it's over.
Yeah.
Auburn can go all the way with it.
Yeah, if Auburn beats UConn in the Sweet 16, Auburn got screwed and they just proved that the conference tournaments don't mean anything. If you run the table in your SEC conference championship and win it, and you don't move from a projected 4 to a number 3, and Alabama gets to stay as a 4 after getting trounced out by Florida, that shows it means nothing. So they get put in Spokane, Washington, and have to go against UConn, the favorite in the Sweet 16. I agree with you, Mitch. If they beat them in the Sweet 16, it's Auburn's to lose.
But then the thing about it is, when the Sweet 16 comes up, is we're having to go all the way to Massachusetts, so it's basically a home field advantage for UConn too. So
can somebody let me know where I watched Georgia in the March Madness bracket? Who are they up against? Can somebody just point me in that direction?
No, you didn't, Casey.
Are they not in it, Jay? I didn't even check.
Oh, good.
I didn't know if there was somewhere I could watch them or not.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
we'll just wait till the fall. The fall.
Well, that'll be it for episode 94. Thanks to Jay and Ryan coming on. We're hoping that it's a good outcome for the BSG boys after this weekend. We're going to give it everything we got. I can promise you that. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.